Hey.
Alright, y'all, so the NBA world is on fire once again because of some reffing issues from the Toronto Raptors Los Angeles Lakers game from Tuesday night. If you haven't seen it all over your social media pages, then I'll clue you in. Lakers shot 23 free throws in the fourth quarter alone. For reference, the Toronto Raptors shot 13 free throws for the entire 48-minute game, and head coach Darko Rajakovic made it very clear in his post-game presser that he was not a fan and that he thought the game was rigged for the Lakers so that they can get a win. This is not the first time we've heard this. This has been a running theme pretty much since LeBron joined the Lakers, and I don't want to sit here and say that I am a referee defender by any means, but at the same time, I just kind of find, at least I've found through my NBA watching experience, that fans typically are biased, and most of the time when they lose and there are just questionable calls here and there throughout the game, they'll just go and blame the refs, and it's not the first time we've seen it. It definitely won't be the last, so I'm here to conduct the final investigation into this game to see if this game was truly rigged for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I really hope y'all stick around to see the final conclusion, because I think a lot of y'all might be pissed off by the results because it's not going to be what you want it to be, but I want to dig back to the tape so that we can all be on the same page for if this game was truly a referee mishap or not. A little context to set the scene. So with about 2 minutes left in the third quarter, the Lakers were up 84-78, and to finish off the third quarter, the Raptors actually ended on an 11-4 run. They had an 89-88 lead heading into the fourth quarter. You could say they had some momentum on their hands, away game in LA, so, home court versus momentum, whatever you want to say. It was a tight game. It was a good game. And right off the bat, 30 seconds into the fourth quarter, we get our first free throws for the Lakers. LeBron gets a really nice pass into Jared Vanderbilt sitting under the hoop, and he gets hit in the back on his layup attempt, misses it, gets his 2 free throws. Nothing crazy so far. Then about a minute later, we see D'Angelo Russell go into an ISO post-up on Dennis Schroeder, does a weird little pull-up, foul baity type shot, gets the whistle. They didn't really give a good replay for this one. I don't really know. I can't tell from this angle if Schroeder really did reach in or not, but the ref called it right away. I'm going to assume there was some contact. So even though it was a very foul bait type play, D'Lo does get his free throws. So, a little questionable, but we move. Ironically enough, a few plays later down on the other end of the court, Schroeder actually does a very similar play to D'Angelo Russell, but because he decided to pass it at the end instead of shooting it, he didn't get free throws for it, so just wanted to throw it in there. And then from here to the 4-minute mark, it was a lot of just good, clean basketball, though. I shouldn't say good, it was entertaining basketball. Not a whole lot of defense was being played. That's something I'll come back to at the end of the video, but just a lot of shot making, good fun basketball, entertaining, and then we get to the 4-minute mark. And if you've noticed by this point, we've only done 4 free throws for the Lakers up to the 4-minute mark in the fourth quarter, which, if you can do some simple math, means that they are going to shoot 19 free throws across the last 4 minutes of the game, which, everyone's making the big hoopla about 23 free throws in one quarter, but I think we gotta dig deeper as a collective unit and, as haters, and say that 19 free throws in 4 minutes is just absolutely insane. Anyway, 4-minute mark hits, LeBron feeds Anthony Davis in the post, AD turns and goes up for a layup on 3 Raptors defenders, and from first glance from the broadcast angle, this one might look pretty clean, and head coach Darko of the Raptors thought the same thing, because he decided to challenge the foul right before AD was able to get the free throw shots up. And to be honest, with how long it took the Raptors to challenge this call, I'm just a little baffled about how they even got to this decision, because even though it did not look like a foul at first, the replays actually show and the review shows that Emmanuel quickly does put his hand on AD's lower back. It might not seem like it's a lot of contact, but in the NBA, this is very clearly a foul, and the refs did it right to keep and maintain this call. So again, good call by the refs. This was actually a good one. And if you need more evidence, here's the referee explanation for why.
As a review, we see Emmanuel quickly puts a hand in the side of Anthony Davis. It's going to be an unsuccessful challenge. It's going to be 2 shots to Davis.
Then next play down the court, the Raptors are bringing the ball down. Emmanuel quickly immediately hits a gap and drives to the rim and just absolutely demolishes Cam Reddish's chin with his elbow. Immediate offensive foul. Referees ended up making it a flagrant one, which means 2 free throws for Cam Reddish. So yeah, you can't really even argue these free throws either. I know some people will come with the argument that, oh, that's a basketball move, why is it a flagrant foul? But I'll just rebuttal by saying he clocked him in the chin with his elbow. If that's not a flagrant foul, I'm not really sure what is. And up to this point, I'd say the refs are doing a pretty decent job. There haven't been any, extremely blatant missed calls or no calls or just terrible calls in general. It's all been pretty by the book for a normal NBA game. But then we get to this sequence here, and I'll start with the Toronto side of the ball because Scottie Barnes delivers a really nice pass to Thad Young in a pick and roll. Thad Young misses the layup. A good amount of contact, I think just as much contact as Anthony Davis had on some of his calls that we have seen and some that we'll see later on in this game. So interesting no call to start. But that missed layup also leads to a transition opportunity where the Lakers are now playing 5-on-4. Anthony Davis gets a wide open lane to the rim. LeBron hits him, and then RJ just commits a really dumb foul, leading to an and one for Anthony Davis. So all in all, free throw number 9 is, again, a good foul call on RJ Barrett, but the point I want to make here that is interesting is that Thad Young did not get a call on the other end, even though it really does look like Taurean Prince had his forearm on his back, and even if he didn't actually push Thad Young in the back, this is a foul I feel like I've seen called before, and the referee on the sidelines is looking right at it. Then the Lakers' next possession down the court, and this is probably the most criminal one. Austin Reeves pulls up for just some whack-ass floater fadeaway, and Thad Young barely even touches him. If anything, Austin Reeves makes all of the contact here. The ref, you can see the ref, he literally waits for the shot to miss before blowing his whistle and calling the foul. And again, even though I'm trying to settle the score here, I don't like to be called a ref defender, even though I am kind of defending them in this video. But this one here is absolutely criminal. There's just nothing to defend it. Terrible call. And then again, on the next possession for the Lakers down the court, Anthony Davis, a little post hook, doesn't fall. Max Christie, not really even sure why he's on the court, but goes up, makes a nice offensive rebound, goes for the putback, blows the whistle, and the replay on this one, it kind of looked like a foul at first, but the replay then definitely shows that RJ Barrett got all ball, and this is now the second play in a row where can't really be defended. Anyway, let's fast forward a minute to free throws 14 and 15. Again, Anthony Davis is found under the hoop, goes for the nice little spin into the layup, and Pascal Siakam definitely puts his hand on AD's lower back. Again, another play where there's not a whole lot of contact, but this by the NBA rulebook is 100% a foul. And then that brings us to probably the play that got the most views on social media last night, was the RJ Barrett offensive foul that negated the Scottie Barnes game-tying 3. And listen, Raptors fans, although I can completely understand the frustration because of the fact that Scottie Barnes hits the game-tying 3 and the refs negate it on what might seem like a questionable call, I really don't think this call was that questionable. RJ Barrett is setting up for a screen after giving the handoff to Scottie Barnes, which, first of all, I don't think he had to do. If RJ Barrett just continues moving towards the sideline without making the motion like he is setting a screen, and Anthony Davis runs into him, they might still call it, but I think it's a much less of a chance, because here he sets up for a screen and his feet are still moving, and this is just very clearly a moving screen, at least an attempt at one. Yes, you can make the case that Anthony Davis is flopping and there's no way that RJ Barrett is actually going to push him to the ground like that just by setting a screen, but again, I think people were just overrating this play in general. It's kind of clearly a foul, at least in my eyes. And And then from there, free throws 16 through 23 were all results of the Toronto Raptors taking take fouls, trying to lengthen the game, and the only one that really has any interest to me was this one by Scotty Barnes, where they almost forced the 5-second violation on the sidelines, and AD gets pushed to the ground as he's catching the ball. But literally, if Scotty just takes even just a slight little step off the gas and doesn't crash as hard into Anthony Davis, this might be a backcourt violation, and the Raptors might have a chance to tie the game again. But I digress. That's not what happened. So like I said at the top of the video, I think people who actually watch this video might be upset by the results, that most of these fouls were actually fouls. The only ones that were really egregious by the refs were the Austin Reeves pull up and the Max Christie offensive rebound and put back. Again, those are the only real two that I had gripes with. I mean, maybe the D'Lo call from early in the quarter, but that was just 10 minutes ago in the game. That's not a play that was ultimately deciding the game. But I do think the main reason why the Raptors were just so frustrated by this game was one, it's against the Lakers, who are just a very easy target when it comes to saying that a team is being rigged by the league, or a game is being rigged by the league. But also, if you look at their fourth quarter stats, they scored 42 points. Let me remind you, they went into the third quarter winning the game. They then go into the fourth quarter and put up 42 points on 7 of 9 shooting from 3. They had 10 assists on 17 of their fourth quarter makes, and they just played some really good basketball and hit some really tough shots. And for the most part, the Lakers weren't really playing defense. They also had a lot of wide open shots just from, again, Lakers incompetence on that end of the court. And then to see that your opponent also scores 44 points, but 23 of those points come from the foul line with some questionable calls at key moments in the game, it's understandable to be angry at the officials. Especially the sequence after the Anthony Davis and one with about 2:38 left in the game, because that put the Lakers up 5 points. You then have Pascal Siakam with a great cut to the rim and find by Scotty Barnes to cut the lead back to 3. Austin Reeves then gets his BS foul to put the Lakers back up 5. Siakam comes back down the court and hits a really tough mid-range shot to again cut the lead to 3. Then the Max Christie play happens, lead back to 4. RJ Barrett gets to the rim, cuts the lead back to 2. Then with a minute left, they force a turnover that leads to a Gary Trent 3 that gives the Raptors the lead. Then Anthony Davis comes back with a quick 2 to give the Lakers the lead right back. Then Anthony Davis free throws, pushes the lead back to 3. Then the RJ Barrett offensive foul on a play that could have tied the game if he did not foul. And from there, it was just the Lakers hitting clutch free throws to finish the game. So again, like I said at the start of the video, fan bases have a tendency to use their bias to say that they got jobbed out of games, when in reality, most of the time it is just, some questionable calls here and there. But if the Celtics learned anything from their recent game against the Pacers, teams just shouldn't allow themselves to be in a position where the refs can, decide the game if it is the case. I know that's a thing that's easier said than done, but again, in reality, they can't rely on the refs to win and lose them games. Teams should be going out and doing that themselves. And I know this result might not be fun for people that wanted to come here and hate on the Lakers and say the NBA is rigging games for them, but I'm sad to report it's not the case. It's very rarely the case. I'm not going to say never, but it is very rarely the case. But that's all I got for this investigation. It was a really good game regardless. The ending took forever, but that's all I got. Hope y'all enjoyed. Like the video, comment, subscribe, all those good things, and I'll catch you on the next one.